Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. In this video we're going to paint together and I'm going to show you how I use perspective to create a painting and also share with you some tips to paint on craft paper. So I hope you'll enjoy. This painting will be available on my shop if you're interested, so feel free to check it out and let's get started. So I'm using this craft paper in A4 and it's by Clairefontaine and the collection is called Pollen. So I'm gonna use it because I actually really want to try to paint on craft paper. I love the color of craft, original craft, because you can find so many craft papers and colorful paper, but I actually love this brown niche kind of color, and I thought it would be different to paint on it. And as you already know, I also love to paint on black paper, so I thought it would be nice for a change to try craft. I'm gonna paint using acrylic gouache, some classic gouache and gold acrylics, but first I'm gonna sketch and I'm gonna draw my perspectives line so you can see how I create my painting. I don't usually draw the lines on the paper because I kind of know where everything should be in a way, and I usually use a reference picture. But if you don't want to use any references and if you really want to create from scratch, I would highly recommend you to draw the perspective lines and also to define where your varnishing point should be. It's the point from which the lines are coming from, and it's really important to get something realistic, to get something with the good proportions, and also to have something cohesive in a way. So I hope that makes sense. You should draw your point and your horizontal line first. Horizontal line, that is the line that defines from where you're seeing the scene. If you place your line very high, it's almost like you were below the scene, and if you draw your line very low, it's like you're above your scene and like in the sky. I don't know, something like that. But also know that your varnishing points are not necessarily on the horizon line, so that could be tricky if you're adding more points and want to do something more complex. Yeah, just know that they are not necessarily on that line. Play with it, move your horizontal line, see what happens, move your point, add a new point. Yeah, play with it to see what happens and how your drawing changes. It's really interesting. And if you want to use a reference or if you want to do live drawing or live painting, also try to find your horizontal line and also your varnishing points in your reference or in real life to see how to place your other lines and also how to create your painting and your drawing so that it looks real and cohesive. It's not very complicated, but it's just important to know where you want your points to be. I'm doing something very simple here because my point is very central and it's on the horizon line, so it's kind of easy to create the rest of the scene. All the lines are coming from it, but you can have 2 or even 3 points and your painting will be more complicated and you will have more perspectives. But yeah, it depends on what you want to get. I don't usually do very complicated perspectives, lines, and create perspective drawings. Like, I don't know how to say that, but I don't do very complicated landscapes actually, usually. So it's mostly when I do cityscapes, because you have buildings and you want your buildings to look great and cohesive. So when you do that, it's important to really have your lines. And also if you draw an object in a complicated scene, it's also nice to draw your lines and know where your points are, your varnishing points. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you use this type of lines and if you do this type of paintings or drawing. I also wanted to tell you that you can use white pencils, like here I'm using my watercolor pencil on craft paper, but you can also use regular pencil, or you can also use dry or soft pastels pencil. So you have multiple options, and I love that. And I actually really love drawing in white on darker paper. I don't know, it just feels good. I love to see my painting or my drawing becoming lighter instead of darker, so that's also why. So here I'm gonna use some paint, and I'm gonna use acrylic gouache because I actually love my new fluorescent colors. They are so bright, and I thought it would be nice to have this type of colors on my craft paper, and it actually is. It's very nice on craft paper to have vibrant colors, and I'm mixing some yellow and magenta to have kind of a sunset. And I'm also using regular gouache so that I can blend a lot. My painting, I love being able to blend a lot and have something that don't dry that quick, because when you use acrylic gouache it's almost like acrylics, and when it's dry and you cannot go back on it and blend again. So that's also why I love to mix my acrylic gouache with my classic gouache. So to compare craft paper with black paper, I would say that you can use more colors on craft than on black, because the very light and bright colors are very nice on black and also on craft, but the very dark colors don't really show off on black paper, but they do on craft paper. So you can use very bright or very dark colors on craft paper, I would say. The only colors that are a little bit tricky to use are like medium kind of color, like very close to this brown color. So it's interesting if you like to use very bright color or very dark colors to use craft, but if you want to create something very neutral and natural, you will be able to do that on craft paper, but you will have less choice, like less colors to use, except if you want something with low contrast. So that could be interesting too. Because gouache is a little bit transparent, which I like, you can still see a little bit of the brown of the craft paper, and I like to use that, and that also helped me to reduce the contrast of my painting, because I know that I kind of have very contrast paintings, so it's interesting for me here to have something a little bit less contrasted. It was interesting for me to play with very bright colors and also try to have something visible but not too contrasted, because I didn't want to use a lot of black. I used just a little bit of black, so it was interesting here to try to find the balance between something visible but not too contrasted. So I don't know, I used a lot of white, and that's also why I'm adding here again of my watercolor pencil. I've tried to use the soft dry pastel pencil on this painting, and it was a little bit more complicated to use, so I finally decided to use my watercolor pencil again, and it was very cool. Also, I didn't tell you, but the reason why I've used the watercolor pencil first is because when you add water on it and you add your gouache on it, it will easily blend with your gouache and with your painting and also with your water, so it's easy to take off the white drawing when you're using watercolor pencil. So that's also why I've used that, so it was nice. Feel free to ask me if you have any questions in the comments. which is great with gouache is that you can always go back on it, and that's what I did here on the right, because I forgot a little part of this sky, so I did it again and finished my building after that. So I love gouache for that, to be able to change my painting anytime, and also very easily. Here I'm adding just a little bit of water to blend my watercolor pencil with the rest of the painting and with my gouache actually, so it's really easy to do, and just a little bit of water and blend everything. Now I'm gonna add some gold, just do some gold touches because I love to do that. Not all my paintings, but a lot of them, and I think gold on craft paper looks really good, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm almost done here. I'm adding just a little bit more details in gold and also in a darker color to add, yeah, again, more details and have something a little bit more defined. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this painting. Let me know what you think of it and what you think of using perspective lines and varnishing points. As I said, I don't do that very often, but I think it looks really good when you do that, and it's interesting to play with it and try different things because you will get different results. And yeah, I don't know, it's a great exercise to do too. Let me know what you think. Here is the final result. I'm gonna sign the painting with some gold, and I'm also gonna cut it to frame it in one of my frames. It's my 15 centimeters by 15. I think I need to buy a 20 centimeter by 20 because this could have been in a 20, but I'm gonna place it in a 15 and cut it to do that. I'm also gonna varnish, spray the paintings to protect it a little bit more, and this painting will be available on my Etsy shop if you're interested. You have the link in the description box. So it's 15 centimeters by 15 and you can frame it, and it was really fun to create, so let me know what you think of it. So here I'm varnishing it, and I do 2 or 3 times. I did 3 times. I didn't film the 3 times, but yeah, I did varnish it and it's really nice. I love the final result, and again, as I said, you can frame it if you want, and here it is. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, check out my Etsy shop, and I hope to see you soon in my next video. Bye!